Remember when it was really fun to work from home? You'd avoid the commute, you could dress like a news anchor person, just from the top up, or wear your unironed gym gear, or even play with your furry friends. Coronavirus or not, I'm going to share with you 5 tips for workplace well-being. Hi everyone, it's Dr. Madisen Harper, your human potential and transformation expert. Now, if you think you don't have time for these well-being practices, let me tell you, you do not have time. Tip number 1, it's all about movement. When we're sitting in those chairs for hours at a time, I've heard people saying they don't move all day. So that is my number 1 tip, get up and move. Even if it's dancing or walking around your place, whatever it is, get some mobilization into your day. And if you can, get outside and get some vitamin D, of course from a social safe distance. Do some walk and talk meetings if you can, because you'll be able to exercise as well as connect. Oh my gosh, this is one I need all the time. You've got to stretch. I don't know about you, but I feel so stiff in my body. So I have my handy yoga mat with me at all times. And I just leave it next to me. And every so often I just get up and do some downward dogs or other slow movement. I'm gonna link in the vlog and video below some of my favorite stretching videos on YouTube. And thank you so much, YouTube contributors, because you're making a huge difference to us right now with all that amazing content you've created. These videos are nice, flowing, and stretching. So just be careful, know your own body. I'm a doctor, but not that kind of doctor. So be safe and stretch it out. Feel good and feel limber. Is breathe. And you're saying, woman, I know how to breathe, I know how to walk, and I know how to stretch. But for some reason, we are just so caught up in our day that we're not taking the time and investing in our well-being. And when I mean breathe, I don't mean that, that shallow breathing that we're racing around all day doing. I asked a client to breathe the other day, and this is how he breathed for me. That's not breathing. We shouldn't be doing that. We need to do those full yoga breaths where we breathe in through our stomach and our diaphragm. Do it with me. One more time. Can you feel the difference in the nourishment? I've also made a link to my video. You can just sit and watch and see the beautiful waterfall I came across when I was in New Zealand. Hold on. That might make you want to go to the bathroom, and that's a problem. That's okay. I trust you. You know what you're doing. If you're having meetings, make sure you set the meetings for 45, 50, or 55 minutes. If you think about it, if we were in the office, we'd be walking between rooms or walking up and down the stairs. So we need to have that time to do vital things like, eat. And don't eat like I ate the other day. It was like a Homer Simpson version. So slow down, watch what you're taking in, and nourish up as much as you can. You also might want to just stretch or move around. Make sure you also keep your water levels up. I keep liters of water by my side when I'm on video conference calls. And in those remaining 5 or 10 minutes in between meetings, you also might want to... We all do, right? Number 4 is all about relationships. I know for a lot of you, especially if you've got families or a lot of people in your home, the only time you had to yourself was that commute in the car. And now you don't have that. As a result, it's really important to be mindful to make your relationships flourish and not turn into a fiasco. What you can do is make sure you have your own spaces. And you can actually have date times during the day, because we can use this as an opportunity to reconnect. And if you've got children or noisy people in the background or dogs and cats meowing and barking like I do, we're in an environment which is a little unusual, so just be reasonable with one another. And finally, when it comes to relationships, either your personal family or your colleagues, be kind to one another. And finally, tip number 5 is all about knowing when to turn off. Now, this whole social isolation aspect, I could have a PhD in it because I have worked from home for many decades. And I often find it challenging to know when to turn off because my mind is so active and there's always things you can do because let's face it, our work, and especially the work of a creator, is never truly done. Once I get in flow, I get super excited, and then the next thing you know, I'm working till 4 a.m., which is great. I'm happy to do that until I have to get up in the morning. Then that's a whole other story. So I have to make sure that I know when to turn off, and I invite you to do the same. It might be that you just shut down the computers, turn your phones on silent, and make sure you don't engage. We are not to be going 24/7 because we are going to burn out. And in fact, the World Health Organization has actually deemed burnout as a pandemic around the world. So we want to avoid that. Here's another tip I use to make sure I know when to turn off. I have this fancy little app called Office Time where I log the time that I'm working for on clients. So I know when enough is enough because, of course we want to be major contributors, but we also want to have the best version of ourselves in every situation. And we can't do that if we're overwhelmed, tired, and brain dead. I hope you found those 5 tips useful. It's all around moving, breathing, setting yourself some time to do the above, watching how you manage your relationships, and knowing when to turn off. I hope this video was of value to you, and I invite you to click subscribe and hit that bell so you get updated every time I release new content on renewing your mind, unlocking your potential, and leveling up your life. I'm Dr. Madisen Harper, and remember, be kind to one another.